Hey friends, come on in. Come on in. Type in freedom now. Freedom now. Join me today for our live show. I'm Latoya McBean Pompey, an immigration lawyer in New York. As you're coming on board Facebook, you might be viewing me in two different ways right now. Hope that it won't present a problem for today's broadcast. Come on in, friends. Say hello. Hello, welcome TikTok, welcome Instagram, welcome Facebook, and certainly welcome McBean Immigration TV. I hope you're doing well. Type in freedom now, type in your city as well, where you're joining from this afternoon. It's great to be with you. I hope you had a terrific weekend. We have some important things to discuss today, guys, and then we're going to go right into your immigration questions. Hey there, good to see you. Come on in. Good to see you guys. Say hello and say freedom now. Friends, we're reachable at McBean Law at 914-898-9488, or you could always email us at info@mcbeanlaw.com. It's good to see some of the longtime supporters here with me this afternoon. Say hello. Hey there. Good to see you. Hey, Sharon. Thank you for joining today on Facebook. If the audio is great wherever you're watching from today, thank you for the gifts on TikTok. Just say that the audio is good, it's strong, it's clear, so that we will know that everything is working nicely for you. Let's get into the first big issue, okay? The big topic for today really has to do with the fact, and this is breaking news, in my opinion, breaking news, that USCIS is actively, when I say active, I mean even right now as we're meeting together in this live session, friends, they are actively looking to strip green card holders of their green card. Permanent residency is really at risk for some people. And permanent residency, as you guys are now learning, doesn't necessarily mean permanent for some people. As immigration lawyers over the years, certainly we understand that green card holders, if they get into certain trouble, they can be placed in removal and also deported. And we've worked with people in those circumstances. They get deported for committing very serious crimes, green card holders. Now, but today, what we're seeing is a push or a chipping away of protections, it seems, that green card holders do have. And now, what I'm about to share with you obviously doesn't apply to all green card holders, at least at this early stage in this process. I don't believe that it does apply to every single resident out there. But what USCIS is now doing is they've made it clear that they're going to be revetting and reviewing green card applicants to see whether anyone has slipped through the cracks, so to speak, and became a green card holder, despite the fact that maybe they've committed a certain crime, despite the fact that maybe they lied or misrepresented during the green card process. They're now looking back at those applications and pulling some people out of this process to then out of the residency status. Well, they can't really. They're pulling these folks aside, so to speak, and then issuing a notice to appear in immigration court for an immigration judge to take it from there if USCIS no longer has the power to revoke their green card. That's what's going on, okay? That's what's going on. So the New York Times wrote a very detailed article about this situation of that USCIS is now engaged in, or the Department of Homeland Security, of revetting thousands of green card holders across the country. And right now, according to the New York Times, 2,890 cases are being assessed, okay? And 80% of those cases were deemed to require no further action. but others are still actively under review, and the government is taking various steps with regard to those applicants or those individuals with a green card. They've set up or created what is called a tactical operations division, and you might have heard maybe other attorneys or other folks or journalists discuss this online, that the new Tactical Operations Division is devoted to this re-review or re-vetting process. And within this division, there are three units that are targeting very specific research and review, so to speak. The first is the LPR Operations Unit, targeting green card holders. The second is a denaturalization unit, targeting naturalized citizens. And the third is a refugee revetting unit, targeting refugees. Okay. And these units, there are 40 people, 40 immigration officers who are devoted exclusively, from what New York Times is reporting, they're devoted exclusively to this process. Try to get you here. Okay. Double tap the screen, say and let me know where you're joining from on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and McBean Immigration TV. Let's light up the chat here as we go through have this discussion. So now you have 40 people in the USCIS department or agency, I should say, USCIS, who are devoted to this revetting and review process. Why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? Well, the government, friends, is arguing that under the Biden administration, they just didn't do a good job vetting individuals. That's why you heard me discuss a few weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, I think, about the fact that they're going to take your fingerprints and do a second biometrics run of your background to see if they've missed anything. There's additional FBI background checks that are happening, and some people are being called back in for biometrics. Others, they're just reusing your fingerprints that they already have on file. And then once they've done that second run, then you will get an approval of your work permit application or whatever it is that you're seeking from the government. So USCIS, the director, Ed Lowe, is very much focused on reviewing old files and trying to catch folks who the government missed under the Biden administration. Now, their spokesperson, the USCIS spokesperson, said that they are targeting individuals who have convictions for certain very serious crimes, including domestic violence, DUIs, drug related convictions, and of course also those who lied to obtain the green card, permanent residency. So, as you're seeing and hearing more about this new unit, of course, you might feel some degree of concern or fear that, oh my goodness, normally, my understanding is normally they would review my background if I'm going through a green card renewal process, or if I'm doing naturalization, going through the N-400 process. Now you're telling me that they have 40 people devoted to looking back at all of these files to see whether these folks should be placed in removal or not. That's what's going on, but it doesn't necessarily mean, certainly, that they're going to go through millions and millions and millions of records, because there are so many green card holders out there. They have targeted apparently 2,890 cases so far that we know about, or the media knows about, and those are the ones that they're going after at this time, or assessing at this time. If you find yourself with an unusual letter from USCIS asking you to come in for an interview, and you don't even have any application before them that's pending and you're a green card holder, certainly reach out to an immigration attorney and bring one with you to that interview. There's some sort of review that has occurred with your file. And so I think that's why they would be calling you in for an interview. I have not heard yet about any of such letters or interview notices that are blindsided green card holders. But if this does happen, guys, immediately speak with a lawyer and bring one with you to that interview. Or if they send you a letter out of the blue asking you to explain certain things, work with an immigration attorney to do that, to handle that response. Okay, so that's huge and that's big, and they're expanding their scope of review. We knew last year that early last year, when the Trump administration came into office, that permanent residency, eventually green card holders would be a target one day. And so I think, they're looking at that, looking at those files and trying to chip away. All right, guys. Let's go into your immigration questions. Okay, let's see. Let's switch gears here and go right into your immigration questions, and then I'll share some information about what's happening here at McBean Law that maybe could help some of you. Okay, let's go here. Freedom Now, good to see you guys. Hey there, Dawn. Thank you so much. Someone says being legal doesn't matter anymore. I think it does still matter. It matters, of course. It just, if you've committed fraud in the past and gotten away with it, this government is looking intently for those particular individuals, okay? Really going after those individuals. If your case has been denied, not because of fraud, but just denied for various reasons, they're placing those individuals in deportation proceedings as well. They're being very aggressive now. So know what you're doing with immigration. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Double tap the screen, guys. Let's go. Freedom Now. Good to see you, Jude, and others. Thank you so much. Let's go. All right, here we go. First question is this. Okay, I have an I-751 removal of conditions case pending since November 2024 and N-400 since November 2025. Okay, I'm from a high-risk country. Should I join the lawsuit? I think that you should. I think that you should. Why? Because I do know that they've held up and canceled oath ceremonies for individuals who were right there ready to be sworn to take their oath to become a U.S. citizen, and they've stopped the whole process and placed holds on their file. Okay. Can I still bring in a fiance to the United States? Yes, the fiance process is still very much intact. You could bring in a fiance if you're qualified to do so as a U.S. citizen. Does divorce affect your 10-year green card? Does divorce affect it? So if you have a 10, well, okay, so if you're a resident, you have your 10-year green card and you get divorced, it's not going, for most people, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything harmful to you. It can be an issue if you try to seek if you're trying to seek early naturalization, meaning that you're trying to become a naturalized citizen before 5 years of residency, then they will go into your marriage history and see what happened there, and certainly disqualify you from early naturalization if you're no longer with that spouse. All right. Thank you, guys. Freedom now. Freedom now. Thank you for being with me. I-130 interview. Let's see something here. Hold on a second. I thought I saw. Are there any good news regarding the I-130 interview, West Africa, Sierra Leone, about the pause So USCIS, the pause is still in effect, okay, against all of against the applicants from those 39 countries, all right? And the pause is also in place for US citizens who were born or are nationals of one of those 39 countries as well, okay? And so so that could be the I-130 process there. And we've seen it, we've seen the pause. All right. We've seen the pause in place even for the I-130 family petition. All right. Um, Now, if you're if you're not from one of those 39 countries, but you're from one of those immigrant visa pause countries, okay, one of the 75, so to speak. Well, the I-130 process can still work, and USCIS will approve your application if it's approvable. And you'll go all the way up to an interview, and it's at the interview where they will stop the process for you and not issue the visa if you're from one of those immigrant visa pause countries. All right. Freedom now, guys. Thank you so much. Double tap the screen if you're joining today on TikTok. Good to see you. Thank you. I'm Latoya McBean Pompey for those of you who are now coming into this live session. All right, let's go down. Freedom now. Let's see. Have we noticed any issues with green card holders at port of entry? Not lately, no. I haven't heard anything going on with green card holders. They're still able to come into the United States with no problems unless they've been out of the country for 6 months or longer. And of course, will have a problem with the length of stay, but green card holders are still coming into the United States without problems. If they have a serious criminal record, yes, it's possible for them to be detained coming back into the United States, but still allowed in to the United States. But for the most part, I have not heard anything unusual happening with green card holders at the airports. I see that St. Louis is here. Thank you so much for being here from St. Louis. Let's see. Do you think it's wise to file for my brother who is in Jamaica right now? Yes, go ahead and file for him because he's going to need to stay in this long line. It's a very long line through the sibling process. So get him in line. You're eligible to file for him as a U.S. citizen and put him in that line. Okay. It's going to take maybe 12 years or 13 years to bring him here ultimately. All right, thank you very much. Let's see. Freedom now, guys. I don't know anything about a passport case, a U.S. passport case. Okay, I do not know anything about that. Someone is asking a question about a U.S. passport case. Let's see what other questions they're coming to me on this side as well. My husband was, and this is a question from TikTok, right there, TikTok. My husband was denied the I-485, and our attorney sent a response, not an official appeal. What can we expect? Well, I'm not sure what response what did your attorney send to the government if it was not a motion to reopen the case or, a motion for an appeal. If you just send a letter to USCIS after a denial, that's not going to work. It's not going to mean anything. You might want to get a second opinion on what happened there and get some clarity on next steps. Because if the I-485 was denied, well, USCIS most likely will place your spouse in removal. Okay. See that Pennsylvania's here. Thank you. I hope you guys had a great weekend. Thank you. Thank you. My husband is going for an interview next month and we're nervous. So, Marlene, don't be nervous. Although approaching immigration today is very intimidating, so I could understand why you would be nervous. Where is where is this interview going to happen? Is it here in the United States or is it at a U.S. embassy? And also, what country is your husband from, and where are you from? Um, be prepared. Ensure that your husband certainly is prepared for his interview. He needs to review his applications very carefully and all of the evidence that he submitted to immigration to ensure that he's not blindsided or caught off guard by any detail. If he had been married in the past, certainly he needs to be able to potentially answer a question or two about his previous marriage, maybe. Had he been petitioned for before by anyone? If so, he needs to recall what happened during that process and expect questions related to that old or previous process. Preparation is key. Once he is prepared, he will feel a lot more confident walking into that interview. Okay, let's see. And don't let anyone tell you that if you prepare for an interview with immigration that you're committing fraud or you have something to hide. Even those everyone needs to prepare. Everyone, even those who have children together, individuals who have been together for years, prepare, prepare, prepare for that interview. Um, My friend got into some trouble, but he was not convicted. However, he went into a program and he's now trying to apply for citizenship. What will be the outcome? He needs to sit down thoughtfully with an attorney to talk about what trouble he got into and have that attorney review his records to make a good judgment call about whether now is a good time to proceed with naturalization or not. Because despite the fact that he wasn't convicted, it doesn't necessarily mean that USCIS cannot open up a can of, make something bigger of the situation than it really should be. So speak with an attorney. Your friend should do that to get clarity. All right, clarity on whether he should proceed with naturalization or not. Double tap the screen, guys. Type in freedom now. I do need to see some questions from Instagram. If you could just help me with questions from Instagram, okay? Thank you, guys. Thank you, thank you. Let's go. The pause is still in effect for every country that is on the list. Okay, for every country that is on the list, whether you're part of the 75 country immigrant visa pause or the 39 country USCIS pause, they have not removed any country from the list. Come on in, guys. I shared at the very start of today's live session that USCIS, or the Department of Homeland Security, is taking a very aggressive stance to re-vet and re-review green card holders, people who are out there with your green card in your back pocket and you're going about your life. There's a unit that has been created in the DHS at USCIS that is a tactical operations division, TOD, I guess, I don't know, Tactical Operations Division, with a unit devoted to reviewing LPRs, green card holders, denaturalization, targeting naturalized citizens, and refugee revetting, targeting refugees. And currently, according to the New York Times, this is the data that I've seen. The only data I've seen related to this is from the New York Times article from this weekend. 2,890 cases are being assessed, but 80% of those cases were deemed to require no further action, which means that those individuals are in the clear, while 500 green card holders remain under active review. Okay, I don't know how many people are being reviewed under the denaturalization unit within USCIS, and certainly I don't know the data yet related to the refugee unit. Okay, if you do get a letter from USCIS asking you to come in for an interview out of the blue and you're a green card holder and you don't have a pending I-90 to renew your green card and you don't have an N-400 naturalization application, then you can contact an immigration attorney to talk about what that interview could be about, and also to talk a little bit about your history as well. Okay. All right, thank you, guys. Let's see some questions here from Instagram. Let's see. Um, Okay, someone says that he is a Nigerian citizen. Okay, I'm a PhD student at George Mason University. I was affected by the travel ban after I left the United States in November. How can I re-enter the United States? I'm curious to know. I'm curious to know whether what status did you leave the United States in? Are you an F1 student? What was the status that you had that you before leaving the United States? It's you might not be able to get back in under this the ban that is in effect right now because they've made the exceptions really, really difficult for most people to meet. You can meet with an attorney privately to talk a little bit more about this, but at this time, the nationals who are affected by the travel ban that's in effect are facing a huge barrier to re-entering the United States at this time. And this travel ban issue, friends, is one that is very difficult to tackle, okay, because the highest court in this country addressed this issue some time ago. And the Trump administration, Trump 2.0, has learned a lot of lessons from failures under Trump 1.0 and successes under 1.0. And they've made this a very tight national security issue. Okay. Thank you, guys. Freedom now. Okay, let's see. Um, I'm on the wait list for the third batch. This is a question from Instagram. Um, Instagram. I'm on the wait list for the third batch, but I have a VAWA pending application. Does this apply to me? Can I join the ongoing lawsuit, or is it not applicable to me? So if you're from one of those countries, then they've paused your application. Okay, doesn't matter what you've applied for, really. But just so you know, if you are one of the many people who are on our wait list to join round three, we emailed you on Saturday notifying you that you could now onboard, and we made it public also on Sunday night to those on our newsletter list. So we are now onboarding for round three of our USCIS adjudication pause lawsuit until June 7th. Okay. So you could click the link on our website, go to McBeanLaw.com. You will see on our homepage information about our lawsuit, and you could click the link to learn more about it and read it. Read those FAQs very carefully before you make the decision to join this lawsuit. So this is round three. I might have an informational session. I'm not sure. An informational Zoom meeting. I've been trying to figure out how to fit that in later this week. But if I do have that free informational session, we will blast it out to you guys. But just so you know, round three for the USCIS 39 country adjudication pause lawsuit onboarding is now open. All right. Thank you, guys. Let's see. Thank you. Good questions today. Let's see. This is a question regarding traveling. How is the pause affecting traveling back and forth to Jamaica? My wife and I are in 3 weeks. We filed for her 10-year green card in February, so she's traveling with the green card and the extension letter. Your wife should be fine because she's now a green card holder. She received her immigrant visa by the embassy. And I don't know what this extension letter is. Is this a 751 extension letter? If that's the case, she's fine. She could re-enter the United States. So the pause will not impact her, okay? She can travel safely back to the United States. Let's see. For for the countries on hold, does any special requests for consideration to lift a person from part of the ban? It's hard. I have not heard or seen, and I'm just one person, but I have not heard or seen anyone provide a reasonable explanation for why they need to enter the United States, and if they're from one of these countries that are paused and they got through, or individuals. Yes, actually, some of the plaintiffs in our lawsuit have emailed me and said, "Oh, but it's frustrating because we see that other people who are from the 39 countries, um, other people who are from one of the 39 countries are getting their approval of the I-130s and the N-400s, and they're not part of a lawsuit." So I hear stories like that. I have not seen it happen, but apparently some people have seen it happen, and I'm not saying I don't believe them, because USCIS has not been consistent. They've never been consistent, not with this or any other real issue. So, uh, you know, our approach is this: we believe that if you believe too that your case is on hold, an adjudicative hold, and you want to move it forward, well, a lawsuit is one way to fight and try and push back. Litigation is never smooth. It's never a walk in the park. It's never easy. It doesn't expedite your case. That's not what any of this is about. So understand that you've got to come into something like this with the right mindset, and don't think that we're miracle workers, because we're not. We are not working miracles here in this context. So we apply the law. We push hard, and we push strategically, and we're pushing back. That's what this is all about. If you want to push back too, then you can join the lawsuit. Um, and we're not the only ones on board. And obviously for this, my colleague Jim Hacken, he's on board. And right now, I think for round two as well. Okay, so let's go. Let's push back together. Push back together. Our case is on administrative hold after the final interview. Is it possible to discuss the case? Is it possible to discuss the case? Certainly you can. If you're from one of those 75 countries, and your case is now an administrative process, and there's nothing really that we could do for you unless you join the lawsuit. Okay, um, that's the reality. That's the reality of it. Okay. Freedom now, guys. Thank you so much for being with me here today on Monday, May 18th. We have great questions coming in. Let's see. Is the I-130 processing time 5 years as of now? USCIS has some absurd timelines on its website. Do not become discouraged by it. Still get your case in, and and put your best case forward to the government at this time. Okay, let's go. They took case processing to the next level, didn't they, right? So case processing went from delays, delays. Okay, long waits. Although we had times of cases being approved in 2 months, 1 month, 3 months, right? Remember that? 6 months, 8 months, right? We've had those moments. So they took case processing now to pause. It's paused or hold. There's a hold. So they're really stretching it and pushing it. And I think I have a video out there called "Permanently Paused," because that was a phrase that they use, permanently paused, right? It's all illegal. Okay, it's not legal. They're supposed to do the job that Congress mandated for them to do. So don't really buy into that, the pause, the hold, like it's the rationale is solid, because it really isn't. All right, let's go. Freedom now. Um, my parents are scheduled for an interview for the I-130, and we are from Afghanistan. Your case is paused. I don't know where your parents are, whether they're here in the United States. It sounds like this is a USCIS interview that's coming up. Your case is paused, or you're on hold, which means that the final adjudication is where they will draw that line. Let's go. Um, Our priority date is August 2009. When can we expect the welcome letter from the National Visa Center? Honestly, I'm not sure which category you're referring to there, but if it's current now, if your priority date is current, you would hear from them right away. It's going to be very soon. They're really good with that. Okay, really good with that. Welcoming you and telling you it's time to start the process. That's again, if your priority date is current. If it's not current, and your case makes its way over to the Visa Center, yes, you will receive a case creation letter telling you that they have your case and what your case number is, but you wouldn't be able to proceed with the process until a visa becomes available for you. Hey there, Mary. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Let's go. Freedom now, guys. Good to see you guys. I need some more questions on this side. Um, from Okay, I have a question here from TikTok. Double tap the screen, guys, on TikTok. It says here that on the form I-485 adjustment of status, is it okay to answer yes if you worked or violated the terms and conditions of your non-immigrant visa? Um, you know what? It would really be a flag if you said no to that question. All right. Folks who come to the United States and overstayed their visa, you violated the terms of your visa. So that's definitely a yes answer. Okay. Others who worked, that would be a yes answer too. You've got to, if you're not an immediate relative of a U.S. citizen, or if you are not trying to get a humanitarian process approved by USCIS, you should really consult with an attorney before you submit this I-485 application, okay? All right. Freedom now, guys. Freedom now. Summer is officially, I feel like it's officially here actually in our area. I think it's almost 90 degrees today. We finally turned on the AC in this office. Today is the first day of AC in our office. When will the visa ban for the 75 countries be lifted? I don't know. Don't know. Don't know. No one knows. I hope it will be soon. Okay. We have our 52 country immigrant visa pause lawsuit still pending. It's frustrating to our plaintiffs, still pending in DC, Washington, DC, that we filed a few weeks ago. We're going to send an email to our plaintiffs today. In the 52 country, we have an update or an explanation that we're going to share with the 52 country plaintiffs today. All right. One of my colleagues is going to email you an update today. And if you're part of the Boston case, the USCIS round one case, stay tuned. I will be scheduling a Zoom meeting with you very soon. I'm waiting for some information to come in from the government about their compliance to our preliminary injunction. Okay, so stay tuned. I have gotten your emails. The plaintiffs in round one, they like to write the same email to me. I know when you're speaking to each other, because then we're flooded with the same content, one after another. And I've tried my best to respond to many of you. So I am going to hold a meeting with you very soon. I'm waiting for some information so that I could share with you what's going on the compliance side from the government. And also plaintiffs. Round one, also tell us what's going on. We've sent you an email asking for information. Not all of you have responded yet to our requests. Please, please, please let us know what is going on with your case because we have to know what you're experiencing, all right? So get me that information, please. All right, next question. I'm married to a U.S. citizen. And I applied for the I-130 in October 2025. How long is that process? Wife is in the Caribbean. I would say expect it to be longer than a year. Expect it to be longer than a year. Which Caribbean country she's in will determine how long the wait will be because some Caribbean countries are subject to the 75 country immigrant visa pause. So if the pause is still in effect next year, maybe when your case is potentially at the embassy level, then it's going to be a delay at that point. Okay, freedom now, guys. Freedom now. Freedom now. Let's see. Um, is it advisable to file for naturalization? This is a question from Instagram. Thank you. Is it advisable to file for my citizenship? I'm from Nigeria and I have my green card for over 5 years. I would like to be able to file for my mom. And so go ahead and apply. All right. If you're eligible for naturalization, get it in, despite the fact that you're from one of those countries. Again, it's very important to get your case going. And if the pause is still in effect, adjudication hold is still in effect by the time you've reached a certain threshold with that naturalization case, then you can consider suing the government, filing a lawsuit to move your process along. Let's see. Any new requirements for the green card renewal process? None that I've heard about. I have not. I have not heard about anything new with the green card renewal process. Okay. Um, let's see. Okay. Um, I see how people are trying to encourage each other. You guys are the best. I like the community feel here. I like the fact that you're really trying to support each other. Someone said, to one of the folks watching today on YouTube that, I'm also in the same situation. I have faith that you and your husband will go in confidence. You will be all right. You guys are, it's good. You're encouraging each other. That's what this is all about, too. Not just me providing information or sharing some insights or thoughts here or opinion. You guys need to come together and say, hey, I've been through it. Here's how it helped. You could get through this too. All right. Good for you. I like that. Encourage each other. Okay. Um, okay. So, McBean, I'm listening to your immigration program. I am U.S. citizen. I got into some trouble with the law. What should I do? I want to travel to my country. You think it's going to be a problem with immigration? Okay, so here you have a U.S. citizen who got into some trouble, okay, and wants to travel. I don't know what trouble you got into and whether you even have clearance to leave the United States. Do you have clearance to leave the United States from maybe, I don't know, a probation officer or someone with authority over you? Don't know. Also, don't know if you're in an active criminal proceeding at this time. So speak with your lawyer if you are. And so, U.S. citizens who got into trouble after becoming a U.S. citizen, most of you don't have anything to worry about, okay? Because U.S. immigration laws do not apply to you. At that point, you're not an alien, right? You're a citizen now, and it's a different application of law. Double tap the screen, guys. Double tap the screen. Waiting for my moderator to return. Double tap the screen. Let's go, guys. Let's go. Um, I am a UAE national, and my husband is Cuban American. Can I get a green card? Your husband can certainly file for you. Your U.S. citizen spouse can start the process for you. Let's go. Think freedom now. Any updates on the second lawsuit against USCIS for the immigration benefits pause? We are working on round two. We're preparing the filing for round two. Our team has been working on a lot of declarations over the last couple of weeks. Okay, so we're still working on that, and we'll get news to you once that case is filed or cases are filed. And that information will be shared with you, plaintiffs, in round two. All right. Thank you so much for your cooperation. If you're in round two and we've emailed you your declaration, please make it a priority, okay, to review it and sign it and get it back to us. Very important that you act as swiftly as possible as well. You could tell that I really love telling you guys things like that. Like, I have to put on a smile. Please cooperate with us, and it'll make my team happy. Okay, thank you. You guys, we have a lot going on here at McBean Law. Okay, a whole lot going on here, so your cooperation is appreciated. Okay, let's go down a little bit. Are immigrant visas still paused indefinitely? Yes, they are, for those from the 75 countries. Okay, let's see. Double tap the screen there. I need some questions. Okay, let's see. I need questions from TikTok. Okay, let's see. I don't know that. Let's go down to something not related to the travel ban. Is there any deadline to get the EAD after the PI? We don't have that deadline in place for our case. And I think I've made that very clear to the plaintiffs through various means here of ways of communicating. Thank you. No news yet on the 75 country lawsuit. Freedom Now from Jamaica. Okay. Okay. My I-130 has been pending for 3 years, and my I-589 has been pending for 10 years, guys. That's an asylum application. I have been scheduled for 2 interviews, but both were canceled by USCIS for the asylum case. Okay, it looks like your question got cut off there. You definitely will need some help. Oh, here it is. Here's part 2. USCIS has informed me that they will notify me when the interview is rescheduled. What do you recommend in my situation? I am from Nigeria. I would want to take a look at the asylum case before really pushing it any further with USCIS to get an interview. You could have us take a look at that to see what's where their strength and weaknesses of that asylum case, and whether you're really ready for this kind of interview at this time. Okay. Because with asylum, guys, if your case is not approved by USCIS, they place you in removal for an immigration judge to review your case. And now you see that this administration has fired a lot of judges. A lot of judges were fired and being replaced by other individuals. Okay. So, and the administration controls the immigration court system. It's not an independent judiciary, it's an administrative division connected to the executive branch. Okay, so they have a lot of leeway and say so into these matters. So before you push forward with your asylum case, make sure that you do have a good case to indeed push forward with. Okay, let's see. I'm a green card holder, and I had to travel back to see my baby. I already petitioned. Can you help me? Green card holder who traveled back to see her baby. Can you help? Okay, so you're in process. The case is in process. Can we help you? We would want to see whether your priority date is current and see where things are in the process before we can say yes, we could help you or not. Okay. Why are green card holders being targeted? Green card holders are being targeted because, from this administration's standpoint, and JD Vance said it in an interview last year when folks still didn't want to believe what I was saying early on, that green card holders will eventually be targeted. I got so much hate and backlash from a lot of you, especially on Instagram. What happened? So folks were very upset. But now you could see. JD Vance made it clear that, you know what, you're just a visitor. You're just a visitor. Okay. That's the philosophy, that's the mindset. They don't see you as being permanent. They don't see you as being an American. They see you still as just that alien, and they see you as just a visitor just passing through. Okay. And you belong to another country. You're from somewhere else. That's where you belong. You're not a true American. That's how they see it. And so now you have this, and then every now and then a green card holder goes out and does something completely stupid and dumb, and then it becomes huge for immigration, and then they drill down, crack down, and then it affects other people. But if you committed fraud, just know that you committed fraud, and they're looking for that. So that's the reason that it impacts some people. Okay. But for those others out there who put forward a truthful, credible application to immigration, you have nothing to worry about. They have nothing to find. There's nothing there for you. That's why I said in the very beginning, 80% of those cases require no further action, according to the New York Times. Okay. 80% of those cases that were assessed recently, green card holder cases, do not require any further action. You're in the clear. But for others, you know what you've done, and this administration is laser focused on finding those things out. Um, but overall, I think it's because the mindset and policy standpoint is you guys are visitors, just visitors. Okay. Thank you, guys. Let's see. This is a question from Instagram. Okay. Um, I have a deportation order from 9 years ago, but I am married to a US citizen and I have 3 kids, and I applied for the I-130. Even I make interview okay, so I was interviewed in September of 2025, but still they are not telling me anything. Okay, so you have someone here who is married to a U.S. citizen. They also has 3 children, U.S. citizen children, has an I-130 in process, interviewed in September, and the case is still pending. We would want to first of all, find out, okay, what country are you from? Are you subject to the adjudication pause or not? If you're not subject to the adjudication pause, your case is just making its way through their system. It's a bad system. It's not a great, efficient system, but it's just making its way through their system. They've extended these I-130 processing times, uh, causing folks to wait longer on average, okay? They're just waiting longer. It would be good to get that I-130 approval. The fact that you've been interviewed and they still haven't even approved the I-130 signals to me that they're doing further investigation into the file. They're looking a little deeper. So I would want to know from you, did you ever have anything else? What else did you have? What else did you file with immigration in the past? What did you file in the past? What else could they possibly be looking at? I would then try to also figure out whether the fraud unit has gotten involved in your case. And if so, I would explain to you what to expect next. Once the fraud unit is involved in an individual's case, it usually happens after the interview. They go out to the home. They can go to a person's job, and I consult with people all the time who are in this situation. They could call you on the phone and ask you various questions and go deeper, and then, potentially deny the case. You're in removal. You have a removal order, right? Um, yeah. 9 years ago, the removal order was issued. So it's a dicey situation, but you could speak one-on-one with us and we'll guide you through it. Okay. But I would want to know, how did the interview go? And what, I could also maybe tell you a little bit of insight into what immigration might be thinking right now about your case. Okay. Um, Instagram. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Freedom now, guys. Guyana is in the house. Good to see you from Guyana. Thank you. Let's go, guys. Freedom now. Someone says here that my sibling did biometrics on April 20th and another one on May 15th, less than 1 month. See, guys, they are doing this. They're calling some people back in for biometrics, okay? I don't know what's going on there. I don't have anything connected to Instagram, why there's no sound there. Nothing is connected. I'm sorry? Yeah, that's Instagram right there. I don't know what's going on there. There is no device connected, no audio connected right now to Instagram, so I'm not sure why that's the case. Okay, we're checking that out. Yeah, the audio is in and out on Instagram. Okay, let's see. Hey there, Ketley, thank you. I'm sorry? We're wrapping up right now anyway, so it's over. Sorry, guys, on Instagram, it's over. We're not going to respoot it. The session is over. My colleague wanted to reset it, but we can't. Not today. Okay. Let's see. Why am I being spammed? Let's go here. All right. Our strategy for round two is something that I will discuss with plaintiffs only in a different forum, not today in front of all of you, non-plaintiffs. So I do see the questions coming in about our strategy for round two. We're going to have a few cases out there that are going to be filed because of the volume. Okay, and the strategy for each filing will be ours to hold on to until we're ready to share that information. Okay. Okay. Thank you, guys. Let's go down here. I've already answered the question about why green card holders are being targeted. Someone says, I've learned a lot from you. Can't wait to tell you my success story. I filed for my daughter. Good. Okay, great. Can't wait to hear that too. All right. Let's go. Do I know any cases from the 75 countries? I don't know what's going on there. So we might have to cut Instagram. I'm going to cut. Do you know of any cases from the 75 countries on getting their visas? No, I have not. No. I'm from one of those countries. My adult children have been waiting for almost 9 years. No, I do not know of anyone who has gotten their visa from one of those countries since the pause went into effect in January. Okay. I do want to say this before we go, uh, real quickly. Fraud. Okay, guys. Honestly, there's um, just because you're Latino or Hispanic doesn't mean you have a humanitarian case. Do not let anyone target you as a Hispanic or Latino or Spanish speaking individual and tell you you have a humanitarian case. You have a humanitarian. No, you don't. You really don't. Okay. The reason they're targeting you for these humanitarian applications is because they believe that you will be satisfied with a quick work permit, and that'll make your world and make you happy and make you feel like you're on track for lawful status. That is a deception. That is a lie. It is not true. It is actually a trap, and it is a scam. And a lot of other and certain people have enriched themselves, scamming largely the Latino community with this idea that you have a humanitarian case, when in fact you do not have a humanitarian case. You do not have a case for VAWA. You do not have a case for the T visa. You do not have a case for the U visa. You do not have uh, a humanitarian case. What they do is they make up a lot of lies and exaggerate the truth. If there is any degree of truth to it, they exaggerate it and they put you in trouble. And now people are facing the real consequences of being placed in removal. They're being arrested. Their lives are upended because they bought into the lie that they have a humanitarian case. Please be careful with this idea. Your humanitarian pathway is a hard pathway to meet. The criteria for all of them are very difficult, very, very difficult. Okay? Most people just don't meet them. But if you find yourself in a situation where someone is convincing you that you have a humanitarian case, speak to someone else, get a second opinion to see if that's the truth or not. Otherwise, you can be placed in removal proceedings. Be careful with that, okay? It's now being made public that certain immigration attorneys are in trouble. It's no surprise to many of us because we knew what was going on. Please do not be caught up with all of that scam and fraud. It's very common, it's rampant. Be careful. Lastly, guys, Nigerian, we shared yesterday that one of our plaintiffs became a U.S. citizen through our 39 country USCIS lawsuit. It's a it's an amazing story. Go back, read that story, okay? It's on our website at mcbeanlaw.com/success. And her interview was scheduled initially in January, but they canceled it and placed the hold on her case. And it was lifted after our stay back in April, okay? And she took her oath and she's now a U.S. citizen. So go read that story. It's a great story, and encourage yourself. Friends, we could be reached at 914-898-9488, or you could email us at info@mcbeanlaw.com. Thanks so much for being with me today, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.